Do you have unanswered questions about wholesaling or flipping houses or real estate in general? Well, I've put together a top 15 most frequently asked questions. Stand by. Let's get it. Hello guys, this is Ty, aka the Flip Man. This is a video that I technically have put together in bits and pieces, but I think this will help a lot of people because I get a lot of these same questions over and over again, whether through the live Flippinars on Thursday nights and or through the comments of my actual videos here on YouTube and possibly even Facebook and Instagram. So I decided to start with a top 10, and I had a couple of bonus questions that I thought about that ended up being 15. So it went from 10 to 15. I probably could have did 30, but time is money. So I thought these were the most frequently asked questions about wholesaling. So enough of me yapping about that. Let's get into the top 15 most frequently asked questions about wholesaling houses and or real estate. Number 1, what is wholesaling houses or real estate? Simply put, it is being able to put real estate transactions together without using your cash or credit. All real estate transactions start with a contract. Whether it's a $10,000 transaction or a $100 million transaction, they all start with a contract. To give you a simple example, let's assume a house would be worth $100,000 in excellent condition. You have a motivated seller. For whatever reason, they would sell this property for $30,000. It may be they've lost their job. It may be a medical bill situation, an inherited property because someone passed away, tired landlord. It can be any number of reasons why they would sell this property cheap. Okay, you would place a purchase and sales agreement on the property for the $30,000. You simply market that contract or that deal at $42,000. One cash buyer steps forward and say, hey, I can't pay 42. Would you take 40,000 for it? I would say yes. So you would then do a purchase and sales agreement with your buyer for $40,000. Now you have contract A with the seller for $30,000, contract B with your buyer for $40,000. At closing, the seller will receive their $30,000 minus any unpaid taxes, mortgages, or liens. And you would get the difference between contract A and B, which would be $10,000. And of course, the buyer would get ownership of the property. This is a wholesale transaction, and this is why your cash or credit won't matter. Number 2. Now, before I get into that, a lot of people have been asking me, this is the end of 2018, going into 2019, will I have a promotion on anything? And understand that, I do this stuff, but I do deals for a living or whatever. So time is money or whatever. So I thought about it and I said in reality, which I've already been thinking about this for months, is that all of my stuff is already on a promotion rate right now. I don't have to tell you what's out there. I'm not hating on anyone, what else anyone is doing, but I know what I offer compared to others. I know I'm offering it at a huge discount compared to what I offer as far as my time and my free information along with the paid information. To put it short, everything is already on a discount. Prices are going to go up on everything from the ebook to the step-by-step courses and coaching and everything. So if you've been on the fence, you need to get off the fence. If you've been ready to pull the trigger on any of it, you need to go ahead and do it because prices will increase within the next We'll just say soon. I'm not going to put a time on it. You're just going to be like, wow, I thought it was this or this. No, I told you. Well, you said I didn't see that video. Well, again, everything's already been on discount. So just letting you know, you can do whatever you want, obviously, but I'm just letting you know that prices are going up. So this is your opportunity to start off 2019 right at the discounted prices that they are right now. Boom, get in the game. Let's get this bread. Number 2, is it illegal to wholesale houses or real estate? The answer is no. As mentioned in number 1, it all starts with an actual purchase and sales agreement. If that agreement states that you cannot assign that contract, or it states that you need approval from the actual seller to assign it, then you can't assign it. But you still could double close the transaction. But what makes it legal is that all contracts are assignable unless that contract states that it isn't, or you need permission from the seller, which is a party of that particular agreement. Closing attorneys, title companies, whichever you're using, are the same individuals that are closing deals for realtors. Now, some title companies, some closing attorneys won't perform these deals for whatever reason. Most of it is from ignorance. They just don't know. But the ones that will, they're not putting their livelihoods at jeopardy for me or anyone else like me. They know it's legal. It's a cash transaction, which allows for those type of creative methods of putting deals together. So to answer the question, is it illegal? No, it isn't. Realtors will often get confused because it appears as wholesalers, we are doing the same thing that they are. And in reality, we are. The difference is, to make it legal, is that we become a principal interest within the deal because we sign a purchase and sales agreement with the seller. An agent doesn't do that. They sign listing agreements because they are acting as representatives for a seller looking to sell or a buyer looking to buy. That's why a license is needed with them. With us as a wholesaler / investor, we are a part of the actual purchase and sale of the property via the agreement. That's why we don't need a license. That's why it's legal. Number 3, do I need a real estate license? This sort of goes back to number 2. The answer is no, you do not need a real estate license. To reiterate what I mentioned in number 2 is the reason an agent needs a license because they are acting as a representative or a seller for a buyer. We are not. We are part of the actual deal because we've entered into a purchase and sales agreement with a seller, and in most cases with a buyer also, or it may be in the form of an assignment contract. That's why we don't need a license to do this. Now, if you think you need a license just because it'll help you find more deals or whatever, that's on you. I'm going to say no, because you're still going to have some restrictions in the sense that you're going to always have to disclose that you are an agent. That's up to you. But do you need a license to do this business? No, you do not need a license to wholesale real estate. Boom. You already know I had to do some house cleaning quickly. Dealator.com. If you're looking for a tool that will make this business a lot easier to do as far as finding deals, creating cash buyers, this skip tracing for owners and buyers, Dealator.com is the tool that will help and make this business a lot easier. Not going to do deals for you. It's just a tool, just like my information is a tool. My time is a tool, but you still have to put the work in to make it happen. So Dealator.com, get over there, test out the 5-day free trial. You like it, boom, keep working with it. If you don't, cancel. Dealator.com. If you're looking to stand out from your competition as far as marketing and not leaving money on the table, mail-to-flip.com. That's mail-to-flip.com. Direct mail using the power of photos of the owner's properties to get their attention. That's mailtoflip.com. If you like podcast, make sure you get over to my site, flipmanpodcast.com. You can access my videos in audio format through podcasts on Android and or Apple devices. We're also on iHeartRadio. So that's flipmanpodcast.com. I haven't mentioned this enough. I have the No Excuses bundle still available. That's where you can get my ebook and 100 bandit signs for one bundled price. So that's startersigns.com, startersigns.com. Enough of this, back to the video. Number 4, will wholesaling work in my city? Going to ask you a few questions, not being sarcastic, but I think you'll get the point. Do people die in your city? Do people lose their jobs or income? Do you have tired landlords? Do people relocate? Do individuals have medical bills, tuitions to pay, back taxes? Property may need too many repairs that they can't afford. I think you get the point. Wholesaling will work in any city as long as human beings are there and houses are not free. Because as long as we know humans exist, life problems will exist, which create motivated sellers. Your job is to make sure you're doing an effective job of letting sellers know you exist through your marketing and advertising. Keep the phone ringing. So to answer your question, will wholesaling work in my city? Yes. Obviously, the bigger the city, the more the opportunity. The smaller the city or town, the less opportunities. It's a numbers game. You're going to have less sellers. You're going to have less buyers if you're in a very small town versus in a larger city. There's going to be more opportunity with sellers and more buyers to take advantage of those opportunities. But in a nutshell, will it work in my city or your city? Yes, it will. Number 5, do I need good credit or cash to wholesale real estate? The whole definition of wholesaling is being able to put deals together without using your cash or credit. Whether you have a 450 credit score or an 850 credit score, whether you have $1 in the bank or $1 million in the bank, it won't matter. You can wholesale real estate if you understand how to find great deals on a consistent basis. You can make money, and lots of it in most cases. For the simple fact, you're using a cash buyer's need to buy more real estate to fund your deals. So to answer the question, do I need good credit or cash to wholesale real estate? No, you don't. Not when it comes to the actual transaction. Now, it doesn't hurt. It'll actually help you if you have a few $100s to start for marketing, but you still can do deals without ever spending any money on marketing or advertising. It's just a little harder to do so. But to actually put the deal together, the purchase and the actual sale of a property, no, it does not take any money or credit to do deals. Number 6, how do I find sellers? This is an easy answer, but not always easy to do. Market your butt off. If you keep your phone ringing and or you ringing the sellers' phones on a consistently basis daily, you will do deals and you will make money. The numbers will just play out. You will stumble into deals if you do an effective job of marketing that you buy houses. Now, some of those simple methods that can be used, you always hear me talk about bandit signs, not banner signs, but bandit signs, direct mail, cold calling, social media. Even there's some free methods such as driving for dollars, calling on landlords, hoping to find tired landlords, or even for sale by owners. And you can also incorporate bird dogs. But how to find sellers is broken down in a lot of my other videos, which I spend a lot of time focusing on those. But those are some of the methods that you use to find motivated sellers. Number 7, how do I find cash buyers, or how do I build a cash buyers list? Well, it goes back to marketing your deals to potential buyers. If you keep great deals, you will build a cash buyer list so fast it'll make your head spin. But assuming you didn't, how do you find cash buyers? Now, you can use your deals to do that, but one of the other methods that you can use to build a cash buyers list for a particular property within your market, dealyoulater.com. It'll give you an opportunity to do that. But assuming you didn't want to pay the monthly subscription for a service like that, some of the things that you can do to build a cash buyers list, you simply reach out to other wholesalers. You see the We Buy Houses sign. Some of those will be actual wholesalers. Some of those will be actual cash buyers. Craigslist ads that'll be posted everywhere for properties. One of the best ways to create a cash buyers list is putting out signs in the area where you already have your deals. Now, if you have a great deal under contract, you can only sell that property to one individual. 20 people may call you. So those other 19, you want to collect their information for future deals. And what I mean by their information, obviously their contact information, their name and phone number, email, and so on. How many properties do they buy per month? What areas they like to buy in? What price range? What level of repairs they like to deal with? Minimum beds and bath. Boom, you're building a cash buyers list that you can use to promote properties that you get under contract in the future. So you always want to market your properties, whether you have a buyer for them or not, because that's going to be the quickest way to build a cash buyers list outside of purchasing a list from somewhere like dealyoulater.com. Number 8, who's first? Sellers or buyers? Both work. Some people say build a cash buyers list first and go out there and find what they're looking for. I was taught, and the way I teach it, is find a great deal and let the deals build your cash buyers list. You'll always hear me say this. It is not difficult to give away money. Those are cash buyers. But it is difficult to get people to give you money. That's the seller side of it. Here's a simple example. Some of you all already know what's coming. Assuming you had a job and I had a job and we were on opposite sides of a street. Your job was to give away $50,000 that you had in a bag. My job was an empty bag, and I had to get people walking by or driving by to fill that bag with $50,000. Who has the easier job? Obviously, you have the easier job because you're going to give away money. Those are buyers. My job is very difficult because I'm trying to get someone to give me $50,000 in equity in their house. Not using that just an automatic number. It's just for the sake of this example. But that's very difficult to do in a lot of situations. To get a seller to give you enough equity position within a property that it's a no-brainer for a cash buyer to take it off your hands. So I was taught, and the way I teach it, focus on the hard part, which is find motivated sellers to give you that great deal to fill that bag. Number 9, starting out, do I need my own title company or closing attorney? In my opinion, no. For the simple fact is that you may have a seller in place and you may have a buyer ready to go. Your buyer, which is the one with all the gold, who makes the decisions in most cases, they may not want to use who you've teamed up with. In most cases, guys, these are seasoned buyers. Now, some won't care where you close, but you have to assume that they're going to control that because a lot of times they're going to be paying the closing cost. Okay. Therefore, you going out trying to build that relationship before you get started, For one reason, it's going to be very discouraging once you call around the 5 different title company or closing attorneys in your market and they tell you, oh, you can't do this. You need a real estate license. This is illegal. We're going to report you, blah, blah, blah. They're wrong. They just don't know what you're talking about. And sometimes it's as simple as the person that you got on the phone don't know that they do or close wholesale transactions. So I strongly advise individuals to avoid doing that in the beginning. For the main reason is buyers are going to dictate that. And even after you close a deal with the buyer and his title company or closing attorney, you can now go back to them even if that buyer is not involved. So now you can build a list of closing attorney or title companies that can close your deals just from the transactions you've done with buyers, because now they know what you want and they'll look at you as now a future client that will do multiple deals with them over the course of a year and obviously beyond that point. So to answer the question, no, you do not need a title company and or closing attorney to start. It will just naturally happen. Number 10, is a real estate agent needed to wholesale houses or real estate? No, agents are not needed. It is possible to do deals with agents involved, but per se having an agent on your team, quote unquote, it is not needed. And let me explain why. First, if you're not aware, real estate agents get paid on commission. In most cases, if a real estate agent has a property that they're listing, they depend on another agent to produce a buyer for them. Now, some agents will have that unique opportunity of double dipping where they list the property and they find a buyer. That gives them an opportunity to keep 100% commission. But in most cases, they depend on other agents to produce the buyer side of the transaction. But that means they have to split the commission. Normally it's 50-50. So if the real estate commission is 6%, they're going to have to give up 3% of that commission and then split with their broker on top of that if they're not an actual broker. So you as a wholesaler, if you're going to target these types of properties, keep in mind what I would recommend is you reach out to the listed agent directly without your own realtor. And the reason you want to do that is you want to give them an opportunity to keep 100% of the commission. Even though the price may be a lot lower than what they were asking, they still have an opportunity, if structured correctly, to make more money dealing with you than if another agent brought a buyer to the table. Let me explain a little more, because I think this is important for you all that want to target these. I personally don't recommend it, but assuming that agent had a property listed for $100,000 with a 6% commission, if another agent produced a buyer, they're going to have to split that 6%. So 6% of $100,000 is $6,000, but they're only going to make $3,000 before paying their broker. But if you made an offer to them for $60,000, and if they kept the entire 6% of $60,000 is $3,600. So in reality, before paying their broker, of course, they would make more even though the property was reduced by $40,000, but there was not another agent they had to split the deal with. Now, why is that important? Because keep in mind, the agent does have a relationship of some sort with the seller because the seller hired them to find a buyer for their property. So if an agent goes back to a seller and says, hey, they're lowballing us, I have to let you know about it, I'm legally binding to do that, I think we can do better if we hold on a little longer, even though it's been on the market 6 months. Now, if the agent goes back to them and says, hey, it's been on the market 6 months, I noticed we were expecting to get more out of it, but I don't think we can do better than this $60,000. See the difference? Not saying the seller would still do the deal, but the agent is now on your side because they have an opportunity to make more money. Don't ever think that their bills and their family situation or well-being is not first. I know agents will say, well, I'm a professional. Yes, you are. but you got to eat first. Nobody kicking you for that. I'm just letting you know, as human beings, we're in survival mode always, and we're going to take care of us and the people we care about. I'm just letting you know that are watching this video, if you're going to deal with agents, no, you don't need your own real estate agent. Contact the listing agent directly. That's going to give you the best chance of being able to put that deal together, even if you lowball. But a lot of times the agents won't see it. Only thing they see is that you went from $100,000 to $100,000 to $60,000. It just doesn't automatically click in some of them's mind. Hey, I'm actually going to make more money if we took this deal. If the seller wanted to take this particular deal. So, boom. Do I need a real estate agent to wholesale houses? No, you don't. Number 11. What contract should I use to wholesale houses? Now, I give away the one-page contract that I've been using since 2003, and many others have used all over the country. And one of the questions that I often get, will this contract work in my state? Yes, it'll work in your state. Guys, a contract can literally be written up on a seller's kitchen table. Only when you have real estate agents involved when they become state specific or market specific, because they are bounded to use those agreements that have been approved and created by their board of realtors. But when it's just you and Mr. John Seller, you all can literally write up a contract yourself. So don't get bogged down on that. You don't have to use my one-page contract that I give away, but Google is your friend. That is a simple thing to do. And I don't like to use the word easy explaining none of this, but if it gets down to the paperwork of you having a great deal and obviously a buyer in place, you are ready to make some money if you don't allow or overthink the contract process of it. Just to add to that, the reason I use the one-page contract is because a lot of people, they're not in the real estate business. This may be one of only 1 or 2 or 3 transactions they've ever done in their life. So it's a lot less intimidating to whip out a one-page contract or 2-page contract versus a 10, 12, 13-page contract that a real estate agent will whip out. So keep it simple. And again, if you don't want to use my contract, Google is your friend. Number 12, should I do an assignment of contract or a double close? Both work. Another one of these situations, both work. I prefer to do assignment of contract. Simple, to the point. Others do double closing. And most of the time why people do double closings is because they don't want the seller and or the buyer to know how much they're making. I don't care. I repeat, I don't care. They know I am not doing this for free. Again, they know I am not doing this for free. Some people, again, they care about that. Now, if you're building a relationship with buyers, I personally don't want to deal with a buyer that's frowning or clowning about how much money I'm making, because we've settled on a price that works for him. I may have the property on the contract for $1, but he and I agreed to a price of $76,000, but the property may be worth $180,000. If he's okay with that and the numbers work when you include repairs, he shouldn't care that I'm about to make $75,000 plus dollars. But hey, some people are like that. I personally have never experienced it on the buyer side. Only one time since January of 2003 that I've been doing this, that a seller has balked at what me and a partner were making on the deal, and we still closed it. So that's up to you. Should I assign or double close? I always assign. It's one clean transaction. Again, they know I'm not doing this for free. Number 13, can I wholesale foreclosures? Yes, it is possible, but it's not as cut and dry as it's dealing with Mr. John Seller and the property is not owned by a lender. Whenever you try to wholesale a foreclosure, just keep in mind there's some factors that are not always the case when dealing with a seller. All right, number one, a realtor is going to be involved in most cases. dealing with a lender. So it's may be multiple decision makers or whatever their process is. They're going to want proof of funds. They're going to want earnest money. They're not all going to allow you to assign it. Now, there is a way to double close. I've never done it before, but I've heard others say, set it up in an LLC and you sell your LLC. But you have to have the right type of buyer for that. Now, people hear the word foreclosure. They always say, oh, it's a secret. It's a great deal. No, not always the case. Foreclosures are being distributed to cash buyers or investors throughout your market. They get bombarded with those properties. So in most cases, not like they're not aware of them. Now, you may be able to negotiate a deal well below what's being advertised or listed, or the listed price. So there may be an opportunity there. But again, it's not like you're going to be finding something that in most cases, not always, in most cases, your buyers are not going to be aware of. Again, it can be done. I'm just letting you know, in my opinion, it's more difficult than just dealing with just John the seller, just a regular guy that owns a piece of real estate. But yes, they can be wholesaled. Number 14, can I wholesale in my name, or do I need an LLC when starting out? Yes, you can wholesale in your name. Do you need an LLC when starting? No, you don't need one when starting. It is recommended that if you can get one as early as possible, because you are running a business, an LLC or incorporation or corporate, whatever type of entity that works for you. But starting out, if you have to choose between spending money on marketing and advertising to get your phone ringing, or an LLC, spend the money on the marketing and advertising, do a deal or two, then you can put the LLC into motion. It's not going to kill you tax-wise. Number 15, will I have to pay taxes on houses or real estate that I wholesale? Yes, you're going to have to pay taxes. It is income, legal income. So taxes will have to be paid. Do you have any advice, Mr. Flip Man, on how to do that? Yes, I do. I have 3 words for you. CPA. I know those are letters, but CPA. Seek out a CPA. That's the best answer I can give you on paying taxes on deals that you do. But in the famous words of Marlo Stanfield from the greatest show of all time, The Wire, that's one of those good problems.